My name is Kevin Jarvis, and I'm the Director of Veteran Services for the City of Malden. Most of you probably know me. I was born here, raised here, and graduated Malden High School. Went into the Marine Corps, spent 4 years active duty, and 7 or 8 years in the reserves after that. So thank you very much for coming. It's a beautiful day, the weather's perfect, and we have a little different change this year. The Legion moved down here. We used to always start from the Legion, so we're starting from the Legion again this year and ending at City Hall, the new City Hall. So those of you that aren't from Malden, welcome. Those of you that are from Malden, welcome also. At this time, I'd like, if there's some Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts nearby, to come up to the podium so we can say the Pledge of Allegiance in honor of our veterans. Please come to attention. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. At least you got it right. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please stay at attention. Face the flag, prepare to render the appropriate salute, whether it's a hand salute or hand over your heart, for the playing of our national anthem by the William Diamond Fife and Drum Band. Very good, very impressive. Thank you very much. Great job. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to introduce an individual who helped and was spearheaded that World War II monument across from us, dedicated to 8,300 Malden men and women veterans of World War II, to include 236 men and women who died during World War II. Please welcome your mayor, Gary Christensen.
Thank you and good morning. As we continue to return to in-person events, I have noticed that people will always start off by saying that it feels great to see people face to face after 2 years because of COVID-19. But for me, there is one exception to that, and that is when it comes to Malden's veterans. Seeing our veterans and honoring their service is something we have done throughout the pandemic. Whether it was meeting with veterans at their homes or in small groups, Malden never strayed far from its obligation, pandemic or no pandemic, to recognize those who have defended our freedoms. As a matter of fact, once the COVID restrictions were lifted, one of the first things our community did was dedicate 2 6-foot bronze statues at Forestdale Cemetery in memory of all those who served our city in Korea and Vietnam. And the same goes for today, Veterans Day, when we got the all clear to host our traditional ceremony and parade, that we did so without hesitation. Because anytime we can pay homage to the heroes who have protected, defended, and preserved the ideals of liberty and democracy, we must do so. Our uniformed men and women have willingly answered the call to duty, and it is our duty to make sure they know the gratitude of our city despite what may be going on around us. In the words of President Harry Truman, our debt to the heroic men and valiant women in the service of our country can never be repaid. We don't know them all, but we owe them all. So let me end by saying, I am honored to be here this morning, not only to publicly thank all who have served, but to also celebrate one of Malden's own heroes. Our Grand Marshal, Cornelius Connie Murphy, is someone who has dedicated his life to the service of his fellow veterans. I want to thank him for answering the call to duty, as well as for his years of dedication to the American Legion. Thank you, Connie. Thank you to all our veterans for your service.
Welcome, Connie and Kathleen. The perfect Legion couple. Thank you for coming. At this time, I'd like to introduce a man who's served the city of Malden in many different ways and the United States of America. As a young sailor, he served in the U.S. Navy during Vietnam. He then came back home, and you all know him. He's been on the city council for many years. Please welcome Neil Anderson.
Did he say a young man? He did say that, didn't he? Thank you, Kevin.
I'm almost your age.
Yes, that's right. We are. I was young. I thought just a couple of years ago, but I don't know what happened. But good morning, everyone, and so pleased to be here with not only my fellow veterans, but my fellow elected officials to honor all of these veterans who have served our country. Those veterans, as well as the families of those veterans who have made the sacrifice for our country. You know, this day that we now call Veterans Day, it used to be called Armistice Day in honor of the ending of World War I and the armistice that was signed as well in World War II. And as a kid growing up here in Malden, I can remember the parades that we had in Malden, where the streets were lined with the residents of Malden that would come out to honor the veterans coming home from World War I and World War II. And well, we just don't have those crowds any longer. But I want to say thank you to those of you who are here today to honor all of our veterans. I want to say as well, thank you to the veterans organizations that have kept the spirit of our service alive. To the American Legion, who has been the host of this parade, as well as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the Jewish war veterans, the Disabled American War veterans, and all the other veteran organizations that have continued to support those of us who have served. I'm also pleased to want to acknowledge and thank the elected officials that have come out today. You know, this is a national holiday, and you know, they, along with so many other people, could have stayed home this morning. You know, they could have slept in, enjoying this day as a holiday, but they've come out here to be with us, to celebrate and to honor those of us who have served and all those who have served, as well as their families. So thank you to these elected officials as well. Let me acknowledge them, and I'll ask you to hold your applause, but I do want to acknowledge those that are here. You know, they took the time to be out here and be with us today. Of course, we start with our mayor, who's who spoke just before, as also not only the mayor but the chairman of the school committee, Gary Christensen. I want to acknowledge the presence of our state senator, Jason Lewis. If you can just raise your hand so we'll know who you are. That's right. State Representative Steve Altrino. State Representative Kate Lipper-Garabedian. Our councilors, Ward 1 City Councilor Peg Crow. Here she is over here. Councilor for Ward 7, Neil Anderson. Where is he? Oh yeah, that's right here. Okay. And I also want to acknowledge the presence of we've got an incoming councilor, a councilor-elect. I want you to say hello to Carrie McDonald, who has been elected to new city council as councilor at large. On the school committee, where's Rob McCarthy from Ward 2? Adam Weldy, school committee member from Ward 5. Joe Gray, in camouflage, from Ward 6. And our incoming school committee member from Ward 7, Keith Bernard, right here. So, would you please join me with a warm welcome to all of our elected officials, a thank you to our veterans organizations, and a thank you to you all for being here and helping us say thank you to the veterans who have served our country. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I'd like to introduce your state senator, a man who comes out to all our events, a strong supporter of veterans, as well as many other causes. Please welcome Jason Lewis.
Thank you, Kevin. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful day, a beautiful location. I'm very honored to be able to address you on behalf of our state legislative delegation, myself. We're also joined by Representative Altrino, Representative Lipper-Garabedian, and Representative Donato sends his regards as well. This past year and a half has been a very difficult time for many of us as we've faced a global public health crisis and huge economic and social disruption. But the impact has been particularly devastating for our veterans, many of whom are seniors or may have health conditions related to their military service. One of the greatest tragedies during this pandemic was the preventable deaths of 76 veterans at the Holyoke Soldiers' Home, which cares for sick and elderly veterans in the Commonwealth. This is a stain on the conscience of our Commonwealth. The state legislature formed a special committee to investigate what happened, and they released a report earlier this year that highlighted in particular the governance failures that occurred. We are now considering legislation to implement their recommendations, including making the Secretary of Veterans Affairs into a cabinet-level position in our state government. So, in other words, would report directly to the governor. Like you, I strongly support doing so, and I know my colleagues do as well, and I look forward to taking up and passing that legislation in the near future. The legislature did also already pass a bill to rebuild the Holyoke Soldiers' Home using both federal and state funding. And we also included funding for more supportive housing and other services for veterans across the entire state, in all regions, including this area of the state as well. President Kennedy once said, "What really counts is not the immediate act of courage or of valor, but those who bear the struggle day in and day out, not the sunshine patriots, but those who are willing to stand for a long period of time." Well, we need to stand with our veterans, not just today on Veterans Day, but every day of the year. Coming out of this pandemic, let's recommit ourselves to meeting the needs of all of our veterans, young and old, especially those who are dealing with mental health or substance use issues, housing insecurity, job loss, or other challenges. I want to thank everybody for joining us today for the ceremony and for the parade. I want to thank you to Connie Murphy, to all our veterans. I want to thank our current service members serving here and abroad, and I want to thank their families as well for your brave and selfless service to our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jason, as always. Great job. You know, there's every city and town has someone like me that takes care of veterans, but also the Legion members, DAV, and others help our veterans a lot. But there's always one guy or one woman now in charge of the Department of Veteran Services that has to oversee all 351 cities and towns and make sure that those veterans get benefits. And of course, to do my job, you have to be a veteran, so you can understand those that come in. Sometimes they don't want to talk to a non-veteran, but they'll talk to me. Well, we have with us today a man who served in the Gulf War, served in Iraq, served in the Marine Corps, and is the former Massachusetts Department of Veteran Services Commissioner. Please welcome Coleman Nee. And just on Monday, at the United States Marine Corps Semper Fidelis Society luncheon in Boston, Coleman was given the William F. Deegan Award for humanitarian service and outreach to the community. Coleman's also still here working in Malden, taking care of those less fortunate in Triangle, in Malden, and he's an incredible guy. Coleman, would you like to say a few words, please? Gotcha.
Thank you, Grant. That's the second time this has happened to me before, Kevin. Thank you. It's a real honor to be here with you today. I wish all of you a happy Veterans Day. I know I'm a day late, but for all my fellow Marines, I want to wish you a happy 246th birthday yesterday. Thank you. To the mayor, Senator Lewis, to Rep. Altrino, Rep. Liver-Gabadian, and the city councilors that are here today. I really just can't thank you enough for all the support that Malden has shown, not just me and my organization Triangle, which is a long-standing Malden institution, but for your veterans as well. And Kevin was absolutely right. Massachusetts takes care of its veterans better than any other state in the nation. And we have been doing so since young men and women wore uniforms into battle like these young people here today. Every city and town has a vet service officer. We provide more benefits per capita to all of our veterans. Our vet service organizations, the Legion, the DAV, which I'm pleased to be a member of and a national officer in, do tremendous work. And it's really a privilege and an honor to be able to do this work, support our fellow veterans, and make sure that all of you get the benefits and services that you deserve, and most assuredly all of you have earned. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Have a safe and peaceful Veterans Day, and God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Coleman. I got to know Coleman probably about 10 or 11 years ago, and it's a real honor to have him with us here today. And like he said, he didn't know he was going to get that award on Monday. They gave him like the same amount of notice I gave him today. But I knew Bill Deegan. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Marine Corps Reserve, but his civilian job was a deputy U.S. Marshal. And you will all remember the Ruby Ridge incident. There was a deputy U.S. Marshal who was shot and killed out west in Idaho, I believe, by a bunch of crazed fanatics. Well, that man that was killed was Lieutenant Colonel Bill Deegan. And I was with Bill about a week before he got killed, so it's a small world. Thanks. Again, I'd like to recognize Steve Altrino. He's not going to speak because he knows Jason does a better job. Just kidding. But I want to thank Steve and all the others that helped me put 10,000 flags on our veterans' graves for Memorial Day weekend. Thank you. Including your father's grave and my father's grave. At this time, I have the real distinct honor to introduce someone who's been a member of the American Legion maybe longer than anybody alive today. I know he knew my father because my father was a life member at the Legion and all the other clubs. Ladies and gentlemen, Cornelius Connie Murphy is a longtime member of Malden Post 69 American Legion. He served as their commander of the Legion way back in 1994-95. He's also served for many years as the post chaplain of the American Legion Post 69 in Malden. Connie was born in Somerville, Mass., and currently resides in Medford with his wife, Kathleen. They're sitting right here. Connie enlisted in the U.S. Army and served in the Signal Corps in the early 1960s. For those of you that don't know what that is, communications. Communications are vital, particularly in the military during wartime. He served during the beginning of the U.S. involvement in Vietnam and was stationed in Japan for 13 months. Modern warfare utilizes three main sorts of signal soldiers for vital communication. They work with military base operations. They're also charged with installation, operation, and maintenance of base communications. Others are members of non-signal Army units providing communications capability to the infantry, medical units, armor, etc., and also with chemical specialists. The third major sort of signaler is one assigned to a signal unit, like Connie. A unit whose sole mission is to provide communication links between the Army units and their area of operations and other signal nodes in further areas served by other signal units. And Connie's military service served him very well in civilian life, as he has worked for many years on the radio as a broadcaster with many different stations. Connie still works as a radio broadcaster, doing broadcasts for the Lowell Association for the Blind and his lifelong mission of helping others. Connie and his wife Kathleen, sitting right in front of me here, they seem to be the perfect Legion couple. Kathleen has also served Malden Post 69 for many years and was the president of the Women's Auxiliary, and for her dedicated service, she received the National Award from the American Legion for her outstanding service with the Women's Auxiliary. So thank you, Kathleen. Over the years, Connie has helped many veterans, both young and old, and is still working today to help others in any way he can. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 2021 Malden Veterans Day Grand Marshal, Connie Murphy, and his wife, Kathleen. Connie, would you like to say a few words? Radio broadcaster, that's a yes.
Indeed, I will say a few words. Mostly, thank you. I would, as chaplain for Post 69, I would like to say a prayer. Lord God, Almighty Father, Creator of mankind and author of peace, as we must be ever mindful of the cost paid for the liberty we possess, we ask you to bless the members of our armed forces. Give them courage, hope, and faith. May they ever experience your firm support, love, and compassionate healing. Be their power and protector, leading them from darkness to light. To you be all glory, hope, and praise forever. Amen. Again, enjoy the parade, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Connie. Thank you, Connie. Malden's lucky to have you. Ladies and gentlemen, today's a day that we remember our veterans. We remember those veterans that stand with us today who served. Many are in the police, honor, and fire honor guards. Many of you are standing in front of me. And I want to thank you for your service. A lot of us served overseas. Some of us were wounded, didn't know if we were going to get back home, came home, didn't really talk about it, never went and got services. Well, those days are over. You come to me if you need services or you need any assistance. I'll either help you or I'll get you hooked up with someone that can help you. I also want to remember all those veterans that have served in Iraq and Afghanistan, many of whom are still on active duty overseas or at different bases around the world. We have bases all over the world, and it's just amazing. The United States has done so much to help so many people. And those of us that have served overseas and have seen how difficult it is for many other people living around the world, we couldn't be more proud to be able to live in the United States. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming out to honor all our veterans today. And remember, all of our active duty men and women who are serving today that can't be with us. We also have to, even though it's not Memorial Day, you remember those that aren't here with us anymore. Like our 2017 Grand Marshal, Jim Hanley, who came out, and it was 20 degrees that day, if you remember. 20 degrees on Veterans Day. That was a tough one. David Haskell, he was at every event, passed away recently. And my brother, Jack. So at this time, we're going to line up, starting with the police and fire honor guards at the top of Wigglesworth Street. My assistant, Martha Ferratusco, has the lineup. I think a lot of you know how you're going to be lined up, and I will give a quick briefing. So again, we're going to line up at the end of Wigglesworth Street, and once we're all lined up, we're going to start the parade, turn left, down Main Street, down to Pleasant Street, and turn left, and end at City Hall. So we're going to start out with the police honor guard, followed by the fire department honor guard, and then we're going to have the Grand Marshal, Connie Murphy, and a red convertible. Oh. Excuse me, 1 second, please. At this time, Mayor Gary Christensen would like to read a citation to Connie Murphy.
Connie, again, on behalf of all of us, thank you for the difference you have made. And on behalf of the City Council, the School Committee, City Council President Neil Anderson, we'd like to present you with this citation on behalf of our community. And it reads as follows. On this day, the City of Malden pays tribute to Cornelius Connie Murphy as the Malden 2021 Veterans Day Parade Grand Marshal. Connie, a U.S. Army veteran, bravely served his country overseas in Japan from 1960 to 1962. He is also a past commander, a post chaplain, as well as a 50-year member of the American Legion. Connie, along with his wife Kathleen, have donated their time, energy, and spirit not only to the Malden community, but to many veteran causes as well. Today, we salute him as our Grand Marshal, proudly acknowledge him as one of Malden's own heroes, and thank him for his dedicated service and sacrifice so that we may enjoy our precious freedom.
Congratulations, Connie.
Okay, Kathleen. Adam, can you get the other electeds? Kate, Steve, Rob? Yeah. Peg. Carrie, come on in.
Would you other elected officials come in and join us with a picture here, please?
Keith Bernard, Joe Gray. Joe, you know I was going to see you in the camera.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have one more person I want to introduce. The co-host of this event, American Legion Commander Barry Donovan, to say a few words.
Okay, welcome everybody. I want to thank the mayor and his officials for, bringing the American Legion into their, town ceremony here for Veterans Day. Veterans Day for me is a very special day. I kind of think of Veterans Day every day. I mean, I'm always thinking about veterans, it's not just today, it's every day, And, it's a pleasure, to be the commander at Post 69 this year, And I've been working hard, and I plan on working hard with the Kevin Jarvis and the mayor, and we're going to do the best we can for the veterans here in this town of Malden, We'll work together, we'll do the best we can. And I just want to thank everybody for coming today. Let's get this parade going. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right.
Thank you, Barry. He's doing a great job.
Thanks, Commander.
All right, at this time, again, Police and Fire Department Honor Guard will be leading the parade at the top of Wigglesworth Street. Grand Marshal vehicle. Then the Veteran Honor Guard. Those veterans like me and you, we're going to get right behind the Grand Marshal's car and march. Then the Boston Irish Bagpipers will be behind the veterans marching. Then any veteran club vehicles, and also Joe Gray and his vehicle, will be right behind the veterans that are marching. Then we're going to have the Malden High School band, line band, followed by all the elected officials right behind the Malden High School contingent from the band. Then we're going to have Girl Scouts, followed by the Boy Scouts, and then the William Diamond Fife and Drum Corps at the end with a Cataldo ambulance and a fire truck. Now when we get to City Hall, everybody's going to veer to the right just at the beginning of City Hall into the plaza area where the flagpoles are. Those musical groups will stop and play a song for the elected officials and the Grand Marshal, and that will conclude the parade. So let's form up and march in honor of all our veterans, past and present, and thank you very much for coming.